what will happen to old environmental laws when the Rights of Nature Bill will be approved? And will the old laws become obsolete? What happens when this law are incompatible with RON Bill? So, yun po.
Okay, the old laws will remain unless repealed expressly by the RON law. They will still stay there, and if there is a conflict between the old laws and RON, this will have to be harmonized by the courts, by the Supreme Court, to see if they are highly inconsistent, and if they are highly inconsistent, then that's the time that there will be an implied repeal. So yung mga old laws will still be there.
Okay po. Sige, thank you po, sir. So another question po, people are saying for you pa rin po, people are saying that the Philippines has good environmental laws. How come these laws seemingly can't protect communities from destructive mining?
Okay, we have very good laws, right? And the problem has always been enforcement. It's not only here in the Philippines, but the entire world. That's the experience. Here in the Philippines, let me address that question first. Why do we have mining? Mining is sanctioned by a law passed by Congress. That's the mining law. And so long as we have that mining law, mining will be allowed. Okay? So the first step in taking away that mining law will be to lobby our legislators to repeal the mining law or to come up with a new mining law that is friendlier and more protective of the environment. Right? So there are laws protecting several destructive activities. That's one. Secondly, the executive branch has not been faithful with enforcing environmental laws. Tingnan ho natin kung gaano kahirap yan. Yung clean up ng Manila Bay, 2008 decision po yon. It is a 2008 decision. Until now, it is still to be fully complied with by government. So that's the time of GMA, the time of Pinoy, the term of Duterte is ending, and we have an incoming president later on, and yet this decision by the Supreme Court has yet to be fully implemented. So, bakit yung nagkakaganyan? Because they're not really so interested with enforcing decisions and environmental laws, and it behooves upon us people. We, the people, will have to push our government officials into complying with environmental laws. Whoever wins in the coming elections, you can never be sure that they will be faithful to environmental laws, and in the end, it will be up to you and me to make sure that nature is properly protected. Nature needs us all.
Maraming salamat, sir. Talagang dapat kailangan harmonious relationship talaga na nag-work from legislative to executive para ma-implement natin yung mga laws. So thank you, sir. Another one po, sir. Very inspiring daw po and informative yung inyo pong presentation earlier. And ang question po niya is, do we have environmental lawyers in Mindanao? Do you have any contact with them?
Yeah, we have many environmental lawyers in Mindanao. In fact, just a few months ago, si Attorney Maki and I were in a meeting with several environmental lawyers. I will have to check my email regarding their contact, and probably I can forward them to you.
Sige po, para dun po sa nagtanong po. Okay, thank you. So next po is the rivers now have legal personality. How do we know if our local rivers possess such legal personality?
No, we don't have yet. Our rivers do not have legal personality yet. That's why we are pushing for this rights of nature law.
Okay.
Other countries, they already have, yun nga, sa New Zealand. But for us, it remains to be legislated. It will be nice to have Manila Bay being protected as one legal personality. It will be nice to see Boracay to have a legal personality of its own para hindi na natin dudumihan at susirain yung mga lugar na yan. But as of this time, there is none yet.
Okay, sir. So, follow-up question lang daw po doon para doon. Ano po ba yung steps on to have a legal personality?
Well, first thing, this rights of nature law must be enacted into law by Congress. So it was filed by this expiring Congress. I'm pretty sure it will be refiled with respect to the House of Representatives when they convene. But that's the first step. And this is going to take some time because the legislators will have to discuss it. Ang problema, some of our legislators, they have their own selfish interests. So not all of them will agree, and affected industries will surely be lobbying against its enforcement.
Okay, sir. Talagang dapat ito pong rights of nature ang ma-enact natin. But it's very challenging on the other hand. So we have another question. Ma'am Yoli, you're raising your hand po.
Just a question to Attorney Galahad because Attorney, it is also possible, right? That's what we are trying to do now, that a local ordinance can also be one way to be able to protect. So if we don't have a national bill yet, we are discussing with our attorneys, of course, that local ordinances can be developed because it will also inform and help the push for a national law or a national bill. Tama po ba ako? Am I right, Attorney?
Tama po yan. That's correct. And that's an easier route to take. You can come up with a initiative and or a fellow councilor or probably a mayor or a governor can suggest this, and they can come up with a law recognizing the legal personality of certain waters in their areas, probably forests, probably trees.
Yeah.
So that's an easier way to do it. Kasi if you have to wait for Congress, they will have to vote on it, and the lobby will be great. But when you go down to the local levels, it will be easier to maneuver and convince local officials as well as the people in those areas. So that's the better way to take.
Ayan, okay, sir. Thank you. Do we have other questions from the audience? Okay, so from the chat box, meron. Natalia, are you still there? We have additional question if you can still entertain additional question. Okay, so is it okay, Natalia?
Sure, I would just... Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay, so additional question from our participant. She's asking, what is your experience in relation to harmonizing old environmental laws and the rights of nature laws passed in your country?
So I think that what can be definitely you need to harmonize them, but you don't need to change the whole structure of your existing law. You can just make them compatible. So you have to understand that environmental law is different from rights of nature law, and that environmental law lives within a framework of human beings. So environmental law goes in the framework of sustainable development and our coexistence of with nature, and rights of nature goes beyond it. So the example that I was mentioning, for example, during the presentation for the Piatua River, is quite interesting, because you will see then that we didn't need to change the law and change all our environmental law. A permit is given under the environmental law protection. However, if there is a project that will exceed nature's capacity to regenerate, or that will take any a species to extinction, or that will it will not allow nature to regenerate, then unfortunately the authorities don't limit this, but we as civil society can place a demand to say, like, this will violate the rights of nature, and therefore this needs to be changed or prevented using the prevention principle, for example. So this is a way to combine it, because we are still under a structure where environmental law is primary. However, you can reconcile it and go beyond it with rights of nature, especially if there's a species on extinction, or if there's a threat in an ecosystem, or there's a way that activity cannot allow nature to regenerate. Then is when you make rights of nature complement to environmental law. So I think that's quite interesting, because that shouldn't make anybody afraid of the rights of nature, because you don't need to change your whole system. You just need to complement it and see that with the rights of nature you can go beyond it. So I'm not sure if that was clear enough, but I feel that that's important to know, that you don't need to change the whole structure, but you can definitely go in hand with environmental law.
Okay, thank you very much, Natalia. So at this point, do you have any last message to our participants here in the Philippines?
No, I was really excited to see and to watch the previous videos and to hear the presentation. I feel that I learned a lot about the Philippines, because I knew about the bill, but I feel that there needs to be more information, and I just feel that other countries can definitely beneficiate of understanding how they can implement the rights of nature. I think that my last message will be to say that not everybody needs to rewrite its constitution like we did in Ecuador, or not everybody needs to change it in an ordinance on give rights to rivers, or pass a Bill of Rights. I think that what we need to understand is that this is the moment for the rights of nature, and that we need to understand what's the context of where we live, to see how we can advance the rights of nature. If we can do it at a constitutional level, at an ordinance level, on a law level, or within an ecosystem. But we can definitely, there's no excuse not to advance with the rights of nature. We just need to see what's the best context to do it, and just feel and do it and act on behalf of nature, because I definitely feel that she's acting through us, and we just need to allow her to do her job. So that will be my last comment. Let's spread the word and make people, empower people to really promote the rights of nature, no matter where they are.
Wow, thank you very much. That's a very strong message from us, for all of us. Okay, thank you very much, Natalia. So ngayon naman, hingan din natin ng message from Atty. Galahad. Ano po yung last message nyo para sa ating mga participants?
Yeah, my last message, I would just like to reiterate. We are going to choose our leaders this May, and perhaps something that we can really consider is looking at the lifestyles of our leaders. Are they really protective of the environment? Do they practice it in their daily lives? Or are they just using the environment for the sake of promoting their selfish interests? We need to look at that by looking at the cars they drive, the phones they have, the things they do, and how they segregate, and how they do things at home. Because by looking at a personal conviction, that's when you know that they are really committed to the environment. And also, in addition to choosing the right leaders this May, let us be proactive always, because environmental problems will always be there regardless of who our leaders will be. You can see that the problems during the time of President Arroyo continued under the administration of another president who does not subscribe to Arroyo's actions, President Noynoy Aquino. Those problems have continued under Duterte, another administration. So lesson that can be learned, we need to do our very own protection, our very own moves to protect the environment, because only through our own actions, only through our own individual initiatives can we truly protect the environment and effect change in society. We cannot leave everything to our leaders. We need to empower ourselves so that we can have a better Philippines.